the Alexa at home and ask her about buying soil for your garden, and then you go on Facebook 20 minutes later and you start having soil pop up. So that's all technology, and a lot of that is basically coming back to kind of a CRM. So it's a way of keeping track of everybody's birthdays, anniversaries, the notes you've taken, what they're interested in, what they're not interested in. So the concept is to get all that data into one place. Historically, what did everybody have? You had a Rolodex, or you had your little black book, or you had your day planner, or an Excel spreadsheet, or just a whole bunch of legal pads stacked all over the place. But nowadays, you put it all in a system. So kind of with and without. Without, it's really easy to lose the details. It's hard to keep track of what's going on, and especially in real estate, right? I mean, you need to be all over your clients' histories, what they're interested in, when their birthdays are, when they last bought a house from you, when they've been in the house for 3 years, how you can keep track of all that information. It's really hard to do without a CRM. Now, is anybody in here right now using a CRM? What are you using?
I'm signing up.
No?
I'm signing up too. I'm not using any of those. I don't see them enough user-friendly.
Okay.
And it's much easier, plus more or less I still focus on buyers ready to go in the next couple of months.
Sure. Okay. So, but you must run into people all the time that aren't ready to go in a couple months, right? They're not ready to go for a year. What do you do with them?
Let them sit.
Try to remember, like I do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my question is, because you just said the way technology is, I mean, everything's out there that you and everybody else has ever did in their whole life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much. So, who really is in control of your CRM? That's why you get somebody on this system, and it's like, have you lost total control of everything?
No, so we're going to delve into it individually, right? So, I mean, there's options from nothing to thousands and thousands of dollars a month. For me, we have a small team of agents, about 10 of us, and we have an inside sales associate or an inside sales assistant that manages most of the CRM data, right? In the past, before I had that, I did it all myself. So, it's kind of dependent on where you're at in your journey. I can tell you firsthand before, my first year or two in real estate, I had CRM, I didn't really use it, and the phone calls that I hated the most were when I would call somebody and say, hey, it's John, just checking in, I haven't talked to you in 6 months. They're like, oh yeah, well, we're moving in right now. It's like, okay, so that's what really pushed me into it. In addition to the whole touch factor, right? So, I mean, you want to stay in touch with people, and the more you build a database, the more you build a sphere, whatever your working ideology is for leads, the harder it gets to maintain that touch level, right? And that's what CRM can do for you. So to answer your question, you are in charge of it until you decide you want somebody else to be in charge of it.
Okay.
Right?
And then you have to remember, I've started using, it's called Premier Lister.
Okay.
And it came it's free for what I'm doing. I can upgrade certain things,
Sure.
but it does, at least it sends out on my clients that I put in, or whatever prospect. You have to have their phone number, email number one, and then phone number if you have it. And
Sure.
then I kind of just send them monthly newsletters, unless I know that, okay, they've been, obviously, they qualify, those are clients.
Right.
But like people that want to maybe buy a second home, and I kind of put it from there, but I haven't really done much of, like a constant drip. And I've noticed for some reason that on Premier Lister, because I'm sending it to myself too, it shows like it says at the top that it could be virus or something that is not. So now I'm like, are my clients, the people that I put in there, even opening this? Because it shows like it could be unsafe, that stuff.
Yeah, well, some CRMs are going to tell you.
That could happen.
Well, no, they're going to tell you whether they open or not. So a lot of them have built-in email trackers that are going to tell you right off the bat who's opening, who's not opening.
Okay.
And there's a couple, like we're going to talk about one CRM in here that's really, really popular, but it's also got a real serious flaw. And the flaw is the third-party system that they use to distribute emails. So the third-party system that they're using prevents a lot of their emails from going out. It happens exactly what you're talking about. So all that stuff you kind of got to, just be aware of. I mean, there's going to be good and bad to everything. At the end of the day, it's going to be a balance between how much effort are you going to put into it versus how much you want to pay for that effort. But just to kind of go back to it, so, without a CRM, you're gonna have paper all over the place, you're gonna have a hard time keeping track of everything. Some people approach real estate differently than I do, but for me and for the majority of agents that I know that are performing at a pretty high level, it's purely a numbers game and it's a backwards numbers game. So I wanna close 52 houses this year. I've got a close ratio of 4%. That means that I have to have this many leads that come in the door. That means I may have to make this many phone calls, this many appointments, and it works all the way backwards from what my original goal is, right? So that's a whole nother class. But to hit to that level of, even if it's 12, if you want to sell 12 houses, how many people do you have to be in touch with to do that? If you're not, I'm not talking about working just out of your sphere. Your sphere is a whole different thing, right? So your sphere caps at a certain number. Maybe they cap at 6 deals, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 12, whatever it is. You hit your sphere, that's the end of your sphere. Then you can go into referrals, you can go into all that stuff as well, but that requires a CRM and some type of follow-up system in place to maximize it. So with the CRM, you're going to be able to transform your business. You're going to be able to reach out and touch and stay in contact with a lot more people, and it's also going to remind you of what to do. Okay, so there's a lot of positives that come out of it. And I'll be honest, I just don't see how you can perform well without one. I find it very difficult to imagine using just your phone and your Excel spreadsheets and legal pads. It's just going to be really challenging. You're going to miss a lot of business. And jump in with questions anytime. So here's kind of 5 questions I came up with. This is before you even think about buying any CRM or trying any CRM, right? So ask yourself these 5 questions. What's the most inefficient process in your business? What's the worst thing? What are you worst at? What's your big downfall? What are you not good at? So, anybody want to volunteer what they're not good at? Shoot.
Cold calling.
Okay, cold calling.
Either.
Anybody else? So I suck at organization. I'm a disaster, right? I use a transaction coordinator. I don't handle the paperwork other than signing listing agreement purchase agreements. I can't cross T's and dot I's. I don't know if I have ADD. I don't know what the issue is, but I can't get it done unless I have a system and a process, right? So that's my own downfall. Without a CRM, I'm a wreck, so that's, for me, that's the first thing that I went into looking at a CRM is how can I keep myself in check? What process and workflows do you lack and what do you need to add, right? So today, if we look at your business, somebody give me an example, like how do you generate a new business? I'm sorry, what's your name?
Joshua.
Joshua, I'm trying. How do you generate a new business?
Either from prospecting or marketing.
Okay, so prospecting, who are you prospecting to?
New clients, past clients.
Okay, so you're looking for referrals, working a sphere kind of thing, or what are you doing?
Both.
Okay, so what does that, give me an idea of what that looks like. So you pick up the phone on a Tuesday morning and you're gonna call your sphere or your past clients, or?
I tried to get my wife to do that, but...
Okay, yeah, how's that working out?
That doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, that's a workflow, right? So that's a workflow that you don't necessarily have in place that you want in place now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one to look at. Who in your company is going to use your CRM? How many users do you need? So is everybody in here an individual, or are you on teams, or what's it called? Team? Which team you on?
Baraza.
Okay. They give you a CRM?
Yes.
Which one did you give?
Commissions Inc.
Okay.
What?
So we're going with the big dog.
Baraza Commissions Inc. The Baraza team.
No. What's the CRM?
Commissions Inc.
Commissions.
So that's bucks, right? So they're spending money.
Yeah, they're spending money.
Yeah, they're spending big money on it. We're not even going to cover that one because it's bucks. I mean, it's, I kept it down to, I tried to highlight CRMs that would be accessible for a single individual rather than a team.
I'm single.
Yeah, okay, so.
Literally.
Just throw that out there. Figuratively, literally,
Everybody
business.
has a single,
Well, we get the right CRM and you can start plugging guys in there too.
to follow up with the
Exactly.
base system.
I'm supposed to call Dave today.
Just put them on a drip system.
Exactly. Hey, how you doing?
That didn't work out.
I am on a dating site and I do have sometimes trouble remembering that I need to answer to these people.
There you go. There you go. So we can plug them in. So think a little bit down the road, right? If your goal is to have like 2 or 3 agents that you work together, or to be like partners or a mini team, you want to kind of think about those things ahead of time, because there's going to be some real limitations to some systems that are just not going to allow you to do that a year from now, right? And having done this migration kind of thing too many times, you don't want to do it. It's miserable. So, just try to pick something that you like and stick with it. And then how many users? Are you using a transaction coordinator? Are you letting your title company into your CRM? Are you letting your lender into your CRM? What's the workflow there? So sometimes you may need additional users and things to think about up front. What other software do you want to integrate with the CRM system? So, are you using Mojo? Are you using SkySlope? Are you using Dotloop? Are you using eSign? Are you using DocuSign? What other softwares are you using? Are you using Word? Are you using Excel? Or, what other stuff do you want to tie into your system? Because at the end of the day, we don't want to get a CRM that makes more work. We want to get a CRM that makes the whole process easier. And the biggest one is what's your budget? So if you can afford $50, great, a month, or if you can afford, $200 a year, or you can't afford nothing, that's fine. There's a solution out there for all those answers, but you need to know that up front before we start digging around. So once you've done these 5 things, kind of answered your questions, that gives us like a baseline where we can start from and narrow stuff down. So the next step is the investigative step, okay? And the biggest thing to really, really push here is like, this is, for me, and then for most people that are highly efficient at it, that use a CRM to the higher end of the capabilities, it's a huge investment, right? So take some time and put it into it. I mean, I see people spend more time on where they're going to go to lunch than what CRM they pick up. The title rep says, oh, we've got this one, boom, you're on, you're signed up, you're off and running, right? Take a little bit of time, try it, kick the tires. So look at it, decide which is best for you. How are you going to interact with it? So some people, do a lot of open houses, right? So if your CRM is no good, or it doesn't have a good interface on a phone or a tablet, well, that's going to be a huge waste of time for you, because you're going to sit at open houses without the ability to really use it.
Yes.
Some people just strictly use it on a desktop computer because they like that space, and that's fine too. But it's just a question you want to answer. Hey, is this mobile friendly? Where am I going to use it? How am I going to interact with it the most? What are the key features for you to accomplish your mission? So different strokes for different folks, right? I mean, a lot of people are big into video, a lot of people are big into texting, a lot of people want email drips, a lot of people want reminders for yourself. What's big to you? What's important for you? And the reason I'm covering some of this stuff before we actually get into CRMs is because if you don't put this thought process into it, you're just wasting your time, right? So you want to put a little bit of thought process into it to kind of figure out what you want. Make sure the system integrates with other applications that you might use on a regular basis, okay? So this can be a real deal breaker here. So like for our team, we do a lot of prospecting. So we call a lot of FISBOs, we call a lot of expired. So we're on Mojo for Mojo's a dialer, it's a dialing software. We're on there 3 or 4 hours a day. It has to go like that. It's got to be seamless. If it doesn't, it wouldn't work. It'd be a train wreck.
So how does that work? Like Mojo dials off to your CRM database, or?
Yeah, well for us, we buy data, dump it into Mojo, and then the two interact. So we can call into our database, or we can call into prospecting databases, and then merge them all together into our CRM. So it kind of flows both ways. But like this morning, I had about 2,300 leads in my own individual database. And for me, a lead is somebody that I've talked to in the last 6 months that expressed some type of interest in buying real estate. So after 6 months, if I haven't talked to them, they haven't bought anything, they kind of go into a different place, that I don't interact. But there's no way I can keep on top of 2,000 people without some type of interaction, some type of system.
Okay, so another question is, in this day and age when everybody's in teams and they, use this and everybody's calling, what happens if, let's say, because obviously if somebody showed if they even went on their search engine and typed in homes in Phoenix or whatever zip code, and now they get, bombarded, like they'll have on Facebook targeted ads, and so what if they click there, they click it there, they go on Zillow, so now they have 10 different agents or teams sending them stuff daily.
Yeah, so that's where you have to
How do you stand out in that?
Well, that's a different class, right?
Yeah.
So that's a value proposition, and what do you bring to the table? So that's what you have to address. I'd be happy to talk to you about some things that can make you stand out, and a lot of it's really simple. From the buyer end, believe it or not, one of the simplest things you can do is tell a buyer right off the bat, right up front, is, look, I've already negotiated my commission with every seller on the MLS, so my services are free of charge to you, and it's not going to cost you a thing. And you would not believe how quickly that alleviates a lot of stress in a lot of buyers, because a lot of buyers don't know. They just straight up don't know how you get paid, right? So that's one thing you can do right off the bat that's going to differentiate you, because not many people are talking about that. But you have to build a value proposition to answer your question.
What if you say free home warranty, if it's not included?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, again, that's a whole different class.
Free
But
vacation to Vegas?
yeah, I mean, so if it's gimmicky, right, they smell it, they know it, you know, they know right off the bat. I think more the value proposition is you know, and who you are and what you bring to the table, and work ethic, knowledge, personality, charisma, all that kind of stuff. That's going to be what's going to set you apart. Because you know, personally, I go to about 10 listing appointments a week, right, between FSBOs and expireds and database and whatever, and we all say the same thing. People might not know this, but as realtors, we all say the exact same thing. Oh, we're the best, we're the greatest, our numbers are great, we do this, we're on social media. Every realtor says the same thing. So to stand out, you have to stand out on your own merit, your own, you know, abilities and what you bring to the table. Because there's nothing you're going to tell a seller or a buyer that another agent isn't already saying. You know, I see it every single day. So that's the hardest part, to build your value proposition. But don't base it around a free home warranty or stuff like that. Base it around you. You know.
I have a lender now that's proposing to me to send his marketing out, and he's really good with, you know, CRM follow-up. And he wants to, he has this thing where it's like, you click on this, free vacation, 2 days, 3 nights, and I said, I need to check with my broker first. But you don't get that just by contacting the lender. On every transaction closed, you get a certificate to go to whatever.
So that's a violation of RESPA for you, so you can't do that.
That's what I told him. I
Yeah.
said, you could, if you want to do from
So
the lender's
lender's a
side.
paid employee, so he's going to be able to do that. You as an independent contractor for my home group, you have to offer the same thing to everybody independent of what they do.
Right.
So if you're offering a 2-night, 3-day vacation, you have to give that to every single person you come in contact to, instead of, as it can't be.
I mean, I already kind of knew, but I had to break it down for him.
Yeah,
Right.
it can't
But
be
how
used.
about if you just say every new purchase, you get a home warranty if it's not already offered by the seller? Because I want my
Yeah.
buyers to not have any issues after buying.
Yeah,
I
mean,
just do that
it's totally
anyway.
cool. It's totally cool, but you, I mean, rather than just say that, you got to build into something. You know, you got to be. And what's your name? I'm sorry.
Elena.
Elena.
So with that's not a problem with the broker though.
No.
Even
You-
though I'm
you're
only-
paying for it.
Right.
So Jeremy and Mark don't care because it's not coming out of their pocket, right? You're
Right.
paying for it. But I mean, you need to build that into something more than a free home warranty. It's got to be, hey, I care about you and your family, and I want you guys to be comfortable and safe in your new home. So I'm going to buy you a home warranty. So you need to turn it into something rather than just here's $400 or $500. You know? But
So I need to tell him to chill on the vacation thing.
well, you can't do it. He can do it all he wants. You know, you can't unless you're giving it to everybody. You know, so yeah, don't be associated with that one because they'll find out too. I mean, ADR is tough.
I mean, I'm not trying to hide it.
No,
That's
yeah.
what I'm telling you.
Yeah. Going on to 4. So request a demo and test drive it. So every one of these is going to let you test drive it. They're going to give you a demo. So you know, honest to gosh, you'll probably know within the first 20 minutes. You'll be like, okay, I want nothing to do with this, or oh, this is kind of cool. I can make this work, right? But definitely take that step. I'm really big in the industry standard vendors. Okay, so there's going to be some big teams out there. We're going to cover one too. that are not industry specific. They're just general CRMs. So, you know, Jason Mitchell, who owns the Mitchell Group, who's, you know, obviously the guy can sell houses, right? He's fantastic at it. He's got a CRM shebang, which is amazing. You know, it's a really nice piece of software. It's based on Infusionsoft, which is a huge, complex, gigantic software package that's used by all kinds of different industries, right? So does it work well for them? Does it work well for high-performing, high-level teams? Absolutely. But you really, I mean, you got to put, there's some time and effort. There's almost a dedicated person to manage that system, right? So that's why I'm a little more into the industry-specific stuff that's like already built for us.
I don't even think they have shebang anymore.
Oh, is he not using it anymore?
I think they dropped that, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was, I mean, it was amazing what it, you know, theoretically what it could do. But yeah. Make sure customization and training ongoing are available. You know, so you don't want to spend $150 for a year and then not be able to talk to anybody ever again. And then pay attention to the user experience. So this is the key thing. If you walk away from this with anything, the best CRM out there is the one that you're going to use. So if you decide that your best option is a yellow legal pad with an Excel spreadsheet and you use that, that's fine. You're done. That's good. That's totally fine. You know, is it the most efficient? Obviously not. But if you use it, then it's good. But don't go for bells and whistles and other stuff that you don't necessarily understand or get, because you're not. It's going to be a waste of money and you're not going to use it. So as you're looking at them and kind of test driving them, for me, the user interface is huge. You know, if I don't get it right off the bat, then I don't want to use it. You know, so that's a big thing for me. But you know, something you might want to take a look at. Questions? We're killing it. All right, conclusions. So no matter the size of the company, it's always good to map out what your needs and requirements are. You know, we touched on most of this stuff already. Don't get caught up in the shiny object syndrome. I mean, as realtors, how often do you get phone calls about new shiny objects? You know, every day. I can generate you thousands of leads. You know, our system will do everything for you. You can just sit back and cash checks. Don't get caught up in it. Pick the stuff that has, you did your due diligence. You know what's important to you. Pick the stuff that has that, and then you can make work. Cool? All right, let's see what we're going to look at here. So we got 6 systems to look at. So I'm going to go over Zoho, Realty Juggler, Lion Desk, Follow Boss, Real Geeks, and Chime. And Lion Desk is actually one word, so I screwed that up. Excuse me. Then we're going from least expensive to most expensive. So that kind of gives you an idea what we're doing. And stop me anytime if you have questions. So I originally started out my business in Zoho.
So I can
Yeah, come
actually
back.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Go back.
How can I go back?
We need to write this down. We don't know anything.
Yeah. Well, if you sign up, you'll get the whole thing.
Sign up for what?
Yeah, if you sign up on the sign-in sheet, you'll get this whole stack.
Oh.
But you can, you know, write it down and take pictures of what you want to do.
Where's that sign-in sheet?
Oh, gotcha now.
Yeah, right. Didn't show up, the sign-in sheet didn't show up.
There it is. Hey,
Hi.
How are you?
I'm gonna join you.
come on in.
Sorry, I'm late.
Are we ready? We're still ready.
Nope.
We're good.
Ready? Okay. So just to recap, we're covering these 6 from least expensive to most expensive. There's going to be a whole bunch more options out there, but you know, these are really popular. They're bigger names in it. So Zoho, when I started out in the business, I used Zoho. I've used Zoho a lot in my career in the past. It's by far the most robust CRM that we're going to look at today. The capabilities are amazing. What it can do is amazing. It is not an industry-specific CRM. So you're going to have, you know, there's templates out there, there's overlays, there's all kinds of stuff you can do to make it a little easier for you. But what I'll do is I'll kind of go over, so each one, what I broke out is here's the website for it, right? Here's the cost. It's $12 per user per month, so pretty cheap. The integration rank, it's an A+, meaning if there's a piece of software that can integrate, it can integrate with Zoho. Nothing, it's seamless, it ties to everything. Does it have artificial intelligence? Yes, it does. Is it industry specific? No. For mobility, it uses an app. So there's going to be a couple different options on mobile. So you're at your open house and you might have a browser-based mobile interaction kind of user experience, which is just a website kind of tuned down. Or you're going to have an app that's going to have usually more features into it that's into your phone. Or you're going to have no option. And some of them, believe it or not, have no option. But for me, that's a big one because I use my CRM a lot when I'm doing open houses and stuff like that. I mean, I want to be able to sit there and crank out phone calls or text messages or emails because, you know, most open houses you're going to have some downtime where you can do stuff. Does it have texting? It's a texting integration. What that means is a third-party software that integrates into it. The same with video. It's got an integration. Templates. It's got third-party templates. And by templates, what I mean is, you know, everybody hears drip and follow-up campaign and all that stuff, right? So some of these softwares have that built in. Some of them have an integration from third parties. That's what we're talking about.
What's it? How do you tell? How do you know?
I'm telling you. And you can ask. You can ask too. Yeah. So the basis behind this is like, to be honest with you, I just picked some things that I thought were really important to me and that would be important to a lot of realtors, and answer those questions so you kind of have an overview of it. But you can ask any CRM these questions and see what their, you know, what their answers are. Shoot.
Templates, what kind of templates do you use in?
So drip campaign, right?
Okay.
So let's say, I mean, we run 12 different drip campaigns. So let's say you're a seller and you come to me and you want to sell your house in 12 months. Well, so that's one drip campaign. So, you know, do you want to spend your time developing those, or do you want to just plug and play? So that would be the templates, is like, do you have access to just plug those in there and use them? Lead gen, so does it have a built-in lead gen component? It does not. Does it use third-party integration? Absolutely, but it doesn't have a built-in lead generation component. Calling, click to dial. So this is really important to me personally. So when I'm in my CRM, I want to be able to I want to be able to go like that and press the screen and have it call my client. I don't want to have to look up the phone number and type it into the phone. So I want to be able to just go click and have it dial the phone. So to me, that's, believe it or not, that is my biggest feature in a CRM that I have to have, is that particular one. IDX, anybody familiar with an IDX? What we got going on here? So an IDX is your front end, right? Is your website that's tied back to the MLS, that has all the pretty houses on it that you can customize with your name. So Zoho does not offer an IDX system. It will integrate with any of them because it integrates with everything, but they don't have an out-of-the-box package that they offer for realtors.
So that means if you do a drip campaign on this, then you just have to list your website somewhere on that.
Well, if you're doing a drip campaign on this without an IDX website, you're just sending them information.
So basically they would have to go look at the name of your website, type it in, okay.
Yeah. Or you can push them back to the MLS, permalinks, stuff like that. But it's going to be complicated, right? It's going to be kind of a pain. So the pros of Zoho is very customizable, very scalable. So I mean, you got companies like Amazon. Amazon uses Zoho, you know. So you've got you can go from here to here. You know, it's absolutely amazing. Inexpensive. It's best in the class for integrations, and again, that means everything's going to tie together to it. Whether you use BombBomb Video or whatever you're using, it's all going to tie together to it.
But it has an app, so like, let's say if somebody comes in your open house, can you hand them your maybe iPad to, instead of doing sign-in sheets, can you give them your iPad and have them put it in there?
So it's very customizable. So you can absolutely do that, but it's not going to be set up like that out of the box.
Okay.
So we currently use Zoho too.
Yeah.
And they have all different things, forms,
Yeah, plugins, layouts. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But it's, for something like this, it's going to take a lot of time to customize it and learn it. I mean, we're in marketing, and I can't even, you know, there's so much to do with it.
Yeah, it's a mind-blowing piece of software.
Is this what you're currently using?
For our business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But for example, like we want text notification built into it, we have to find a third-party company to integrate that into
Right.
it.
Which you can. I mean, everybody.
I mean, the sky's the limit with it.
We love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's mind-blowing. But that'll go right into the cons, right? And the cons can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to just track phone numbers and dates and stuff, it's cheap and it works, right? If you're looking to take it to the next level, either you're going to invest a lot of time into doing that, or you're going to hire somebody to do it for you. You know, is what it comes down to. So this is, you know, for me, if you don't want to spend a ton of money and it's important to you to track dates and track people's phone numbers and email addresses and stuff like that, it's a really good system. It's a good option. It's also a great option if you want to grow to like 200 agents. I mean, if you want to be George Lawton and run that size of business, well, this is a platform that'll do it without a problem. And this is the only non-industry specific one I covered. But the reason I covered it is because it's really cheap and it's unbelievable. The functionality is mind-blowing, but it's going to be a lot of work.
Do you currently still use this?
I do not. I do for another business, but not for real estate.
Okay.
Next one is Realty Juggler. So Realty Juggler I've never used, right? I played with it, I had the demo. It's a pretty popular piece of software. I was a little blown away by how popular it really is, but it's $179 a year, okay? The integration, I gave it a C, and basically what that means is it's going to tie into a lot of programs, and we're going to go one step further here than maybe we need to. But in the middle of just about everything is a program called Zapier, right? So Zapier is a program that ties other programs together. So you can use that software to tie this to just about anything, but it's another step, it's another process. It's a little more complicated rather than being a seamless integration. It is industry specific. To my knowledge, it doesn't have any artificial intelligence. Anybody, do you know what I mean when I say artificial intelligence, or why I even say that? Are you interested? Okay. So when we have a lead come to us, to our website, I want it engaged immediately. And via text is probably the best method. So we use artificial intelligence. So we use a program that says, hey Mary, thanks for coming to our website. It looks like you looked at the house on South Haven. Are you interested in that area, or are you open to other areas? And it engages them right off the bat, right? And it's all computer, so it's just a bot that's engaging them. That's why I brought it up on here, because it's speed to lead is really, really important. And the AI is the best way to do that. Does it always work? No, definitely not, but it's a really nice thing to have. The texting, yes, it's got internal texting. It doesn't have video built in. It does have integration if you're going to use video. Anybody using video? No? Anybody want to use video? Yeah, so it's great, right? It's a really good component. It can work great for your business, and you should be doing it. You know, that could be a whole other class as far as what to talk about in the videos that you do, but, you know, I'll give you my side note. If your idea of doing videos is being in front of your open house with your phone in your face saying, I'm at an open house on Shea right now, it's a waste of your time, don't do it. Because nobody's looking at it except for your 7 friends. Or 700 friends.
Yeah.
Or 7,000
Yeah, I've
friends,
done
right?
that. I've done that. That was wasted.
Yeah, that's not incorporating video into your business. That's saying hi to your buddies. You know?
Right.
So
I'm here.
hopefully-
Come see me.
Yeah, even though you're not buying a house, you're
Yeah,
mentioned
just-
to buy a
yeah, I'm
house.
bored,
you know?
just come
exactly. Exactly.
Hang out with me.
Templates, it does have basic templates. Calling, it does not have a built-in calling feature, right? So you're not pushing a button and it's dialing, which I hate personally, but it's inexpensive, you know, so it's a balance right there. Does it have a lead gen product? No. And does it have IDX? No. It does integrate with a lot of IDX websites, so not a big deal, but it's not an all-in-one package. The pros are it's inexpensive, it's really easy to use, and it's really easy to set up. You know, it's like boom, 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 you're up and running in 5 or 10 minutes. So that can be, you know, that's good. It could be a good way to start if you want to play with it for a year. The cons, it's not really scalable. It's pretty basic. There's no built-in calling, there's no lead gen, and there's no direct IDX integration. And again, what that means is you have your website with all the pretty houses on it, and then you got your CRM. So in the middle, something's got to happen to take people from the website to the CRM. This doesn't have anything in the middle, so you're going to have to use a different piece of software, so you're going to be a little more complicated. So if your idea is to have your people go to a website and look at houses and you get that information, you need something else in the middle, and this one doesn't have it at that point.
I use Agent Square for the website.
You can, and it'll tie right into it.
It will?
Yep.
Okay, so that one.
Well, no, let me be clear. It needs that piece in the middle, which is going to be like Zapier or something like that.
And that those pieces cost too?
They can, yeah, they can. I mean, there's going to be some that are free, some that aren't, but like Zapier is going to cost you a little bit of money. Not much. You guys use it, it's cheap, right? I mean, it's 25
Yeah,
You
bucks
get
or
a free
something.
couple free zaps.
Yeah,
but
depending on the
locally.
software
Yeah.
too, yeah.
But
So it's pretty
all
cheap.
Exactly, yeah.
But another thing to throw out there is that that's just another step, right? So you're going to have to build that process, and it's just another step, you know? So depending on what your goal is, like we went over in the first part of it, not really where you want to be if you don't want to spend time with
And
it.
it's also, if you're not, you know, your background is maybe not marketing, not computers, like I hate if I have to disconnect my cables in my TV.
Yeah, so
you know,
don't do
and then I
this.
have to put all that back and everywhere else.
Yeah, don't go here.
It's
Don't go to this one.
I call my guy friend, come over, I don't know what I did.
Well, the nice thing is once we get you on a CRM, you're going to remember which guy friend has those capabilities. Right?
Awesome.
So you know who to call.
You got it out of your CRM.
Exactly. All right, so here's the talk of the town, right? Everybody and their dog loves Line Desk. Why? Because Lawyer's Title is going to hook you up. They're going to give you a deal on it. You're going to get a discount, all right? It's also a really good piece of software. So I've used Line Desk. I actually still use Line Desk right now today a little bit. It's not our main driving thing, but I use it strictly for one function and one function only. But it's a really nice piece of software. It's got 2 price levels. So 25 bucks a month is your basic price point, right? Don't do it. Spend the 50. Because the difference of what you're going to get is going to be dramatic, right? So it's worth the 50 bucks a month. The integration ranks a B, so it's pretty solid. I mean, it's going to integrate with most of the stuff that you want to do. It's going to directly tie into a lot of IDX websites, whether you're using YLoper or you're using Agent Squared, or it's going to have a direct integration to a lot of those.
So this one works with Agent Square?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't have AI. Yeah, it's got a brand new artificial intelligence component. It's an add-on too. So if you don't spend the $50, it might even be a little bit more than that. You're not going to get it. They're using a third-party software, so they don't do the artificial intelligence in-house. They do it from a third party, but it's pretty good. So, and again, it's all about just interacting. It's all about driving conversations, right? So that's what the artificial intelligence bit does. Do you have a question?
No, I didn't know there is a $50. This is the one I signed up and I
Yeah.
don't like it at $25. I didn't expect to get a high level. And I'm very unhappy with they respond in 3, 4, 5 hours. Anytime I have a question, they don't have the support. And so it's somehow, I don't think this one is at least for me.
Yeah, so I mean, my personal emotions need to stay out of it, right? So Lion Desk has got so here's what happened, right? A year ago, Lion Desk was fantastic. In the last 6 months, they opened up a new beta, and then they rolled it out kind of to everybody, and it's taken a huge downhill turn because it wasn't ready, right? So is it going to get there? Yeah, they're going to build it back up to there. But right now, they have all hands on deck trying to fix this beta test that they rolled out. So they're not answering your questions, and they're not answering the phone.
Yes.
Your best bet is to go onto their Facebook group, their Facebook mastermind group, and get answers from other users.
Tell me if there's one that has that feature, like sometimes you go on a website and instead of calling, texting, waiting for somebody, is a text thing that comes up with the tech person.
That's an integration. So that's an add-on for most of them. I think there's only one that we're going to cover that has that built in. So there's companies out there that do specifically that plug in that immediate, like, talk to somebody now. Yeah. So here's my only warning with you on that is, like, if you plug in a third-party software for that, a lot of them are going to send the information to you, so you're the one that's going to respond with them, right? You're going to interact with them, and I can promise you it's not going to work because you're going to be at dinner, you're going to be in a drive-thru at McDonald's, you're going to be with the kids, you're going to be in bed, you're going to be asleep, or you're going to have a poor internet connection, and you can't keep up with it.
Oh, but I want somebody to be available. Okay, I messed up here. I don't know what I'm doing. Can I ask the question?
You want to ask them.
I want to ask them.
Sorry.
Oh, from the tech support end? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I went to the whole different
No,
place.
like, so let's say I'm in the middle of something and it's not working well, or I have a question. I want to be able to type in, talk to somebody.
Lion Desk does, but it's not working that well right now.
Oh,
Again, the best, I would say with all of these, your best option for support is their mastermind groups on Facebook, believe it or not. I mean, because, you know, Lion Desk might have, I don't know, 5,000, 6,000 people on there, and they're going to answer pretty quick. And usually they're going to answer right, you know, so that's your best bet to get immediate success. And again, I'm not ripping on it because it's, you know, as we go through it, it's got some really cool stuff, right? So I put IDX included, I'm wrong, that's not true. So that's a typo. But it integrates with a lot of great front-end solutions. It's the only one I've really seen that has its own video texting capabilities built in. You know, it's an upcharge, it's more money, but it's really sweet. I mean, it's a personalized touch. You hit a button, there's your smiling face going right out to them, whether it be a text or email. So it's a really, really nice feature. It's got templates, which are pretty sweet. It's got texting, which is an add-on. The video is an add-on. By add-on, I mean, in this particular case, you're just paying a little bit more money, right? For $25, you're not getting it. You're paying the higher end, and you get that stuff included in it. So it's a really good solution. You know, the issues that I've had through it, and this is the one we were talking about a minute ago. So they use a third-party system to distribute all of their drip campaigns via email, right? And their third-party system is not that good. So you're going to have a real high rate of your emails getting spammed or flagged, and it's just a known issue with the product. So you can search it yourself. It's just a known issue. So what that means is that you need to call people if you're sending them an email the first time and tell them to look for it. You know, you ever heard somebody say, well, check your spam. That's what you need to do.
yeah.
So that is a problem, right? They're trying to fix it, they're trying to change that, but right now that's definitely an issue for them. It's a poor dialer add-on, so again, I'm heavily dialer based. This is great for click to call because you can do that. You can click and call one at a time. But if you want to have a dialer option where you're speeding through a lot of phone calls, they have that, and it's just not very good.
So how does it do the lead generation part?
So lead gen is always paid for, so it's always in addition to the cost we're talking about. So Lion Desk has a lead gen for Facebook, so it'll do Facebook paid marketing for you, and they have PPC as well, so they'll do Google pay-per-click marketing for you as well. So that's just an option that they offer. Some of this, you know, like Zoho doesn't do that, Realty Juggler doesn't do that to the best of my knowledge, but these guys do. And And they do a good job. I mean, it's gonna generate some leads for you.
So, but they do, it won't be your ad. It's not like I can tell them, create an ad for me, target this area on Facebook, and then the leads come to me.
Yeah, so there's only one system we talked about today that you can do that in. There's other systems that you can. We're gonna talk about Real Geeks. They have a built-in Facebook advertising tool, which you pay like $25 a month for, and you build your own ads. So that's the only one that has that solution for you. These guys, you're just gonna tell them, hey, I wanna focus on 85255, my budget's $150 a month, and I'm gonna pay you guys $50 to manage it. And I just made those numbers up, but that's basically what it is. And then they're just gonna generate leads that go directly into your CRM.
Okay.
Cool. So very easy to use. The video is really cool. It's got a solid IDX integration, and the new artificial intelligence is pretty cool too. And for the price of $50 a month, so you're $600 a year into this, it's a pretty solid package. Not a real good team package because the interaction between the different, it's built as an individual thing, and they just try to daisy chain it, and it doesn't work real well from that end. And that's why it does. Any questions on that one? Did I go too fast? Okay.
I had a question,
Shoot.
and we're mainly in here because we talk about CRMs to our clients all the time, right? Who sets it all up?
So they're all going to vary, you know. It's all going to
Well,
be.
for line set specifics, that's what most.
So LineDesk has an onboarding team.
Then who trains them?
Who trains the individual?
That's a lot.
They do a handoff, so they go from the onboarding to a dedicated success manager.
Okay.
Yeah, and their training's not bad, really. It's not too bad, and it's quick. So they'll onboard you in a couple of days, you know. And again, I mean, there's just, I personally think I wouldn't use it, but it's a good solution. I mean, it works well.
Especially for new agents.
Yeah, exactly. And it's cheap and it's easy.
If you have a database somewhere else, can you transfer? How do you transfer it to this?
Two ways. You can either export it out of your old system, and you're gonna get like a CSV file, and you're gonna take that and you're gonna give it to the new system, and either you're gonna upload it or they're gonna upload it, depending basically on how much you pay the company, and plug it all in. So if you're changing the actual software, so let's say you're going from LionDesk to Follow Boss, you're gonna keep a lot of that data, right? But let's say you're going from an Excel spreadsheet to Follow Up Boss, you're gonna lose a lot of the data. You're just gonna have the names and phone numbers.
So it's easier if it's from one CRM to another.
Yeah. It's going to be complicated to do that, but most of the time the CRMs offer that service.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, Follow Us. So it used to be the number one. I used to love it. They changed their pricing, which is one of the reasons it kind of went downhill for me. But it's a pretty solid solution. It's $99 a month. There's add-ons to it like there is with every other software out there, right? So it used to be LionDesk was if you were a 1 or 2 person place, and Follow Boss was if you were 5, 10, 15, kind of a little more team driven. So what they did is they tried to go off after more the individual agent. So they changed their pricing accordingly, but it is what it is. The integration of B, it's pretty similar to LionDesk as well. It's going to integrate with most stuff. It's going to work pretty well with it. Does not have an artificial intelligence component, so it doesn't have that, and it doesn't, I don't even know that there's anything you can plug into it. It's industry specific. It does have an app. Their app is not very good, right? The LionDesk app is way better. The Follow Boss app is just not that good. If all you need to do is call people and prospect or keep in touch, it's fine. But adding notes and searching people and creating queries is not very good. It's got the templates built in. It does have calling. The calling is an add-on. There is one detriment to the calling on this. Like when you press if you're on your computer and you press the button on the screen, you click on it, it's going to call your phone and you patch you through. It's going to connect you like that, right? So it's not going to be a direct dial. Not a big deal, just a little bit slower, but it works just fine. Does it have a lead gen product? Nope. Does it have IDX integration? Absolutely. It's got integration with just about all of them, and they'll recommend them. And a lot of them bundle and package. So like Easy Agent Squared does a bundle package. YLopo does a bundle package. So a whole bunch of them do bundle package with it. The pros, it's easy to use. It's real feature rich, and it's got really good integrations into the industry. So if you want to integrate with Mojo or SkySlope or eSign or any of that kind of stuff, it's going to integrate really, really well. The cons, it can get a little pricey with the add-on. So, if you want to be a user that has texting, click to dial, and drip campaigns, and Follow Boss, you're more like 160, 170 bucks a month, right? So it's gonna be a little pricier. And it doesn't have the AI, which is gonna be a lot of the future, especially if you're paying for leads. If you're paying for lead gen, you need that. Come in and join us. Bring some lunch.
First, I don't know.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, there it is right there.
Perfect, yes.
Any questions on Follow Boss?
Yeah.
So when you say the calling add-on, you mean like the
I'll
goes
have
for
it
third
away
party,
if you'd like.
and then they call, and then there's like that awkward silence.
No. You just click the button. So like if you want to be on your app and just click the button to call the person, you got to pay extra for that feature.
Right.
Yeah. It does have a dialer, which is like you're talking about, the awkward silence dialer. Yeah, but it's
I hang up on those, because like I don't know if anybody just, like misdialed or whatever, and you have to wait for it to connect, so if that happens from my end, I feel like people will just hang up.
it's scripting. It all depends on how you run your scripts. You just have to skip the hello part.
Okay.
If you don't skip the hello part, you end up saying hello, 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 and that's your first 7 seconds of the conversation. So you just go right into it and skip the hello part, it works fine. Because you, on the end, as a consumer, have already said hello, right? And you got your 2 second or 3 second wait, you've already said hello. If I don't recognize that and I don't go right into, hey, this is John from my home group, how are you doing, Barb? If I instead say, hello, is this Barb? Well, you've already said hello, so it's totally awkward and it doesn't work, and they don't want to talk to you. So you gotta skip it, but that's all scripting. But different topic, we'll do that in a different class. So it can get pricey with the add-ons. No direct IDX integration, and again, direct is some of these are package deals where they have both the front end and the back end. This one doesn't. And no artificial intelligence. Any questions?
I do.
Sure.
Excuse me when I don't get all this that he's done.
No, totally.
Just between the last one, Lions Desk you talked about and this one, what makes this one worth when you're talking about their $50 one that's got the add-ons, and this one $99 per month? What makes this one twice as much, worth twice as much?
Nothing. If you're an individual, if you're 1 or 2 agents,
Yeah.
I would not do it.
Okay.
So this is more team driven, you're saying?
Yeah. So if you're running 10 agents, this is a way better platform.
Because you could put all 10 agents on the $99 a month.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. But so here's the difference. It's like the Lion Desk is like, here's one person, here's another person, here's another person, here's another person, and we're gonna tie them all together if it's a team, right? Whereas Follow Boss is just one box and everybody's in the box.
Okay.
So I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, everyone has their individual box.
Yeah. So the Lion Desk is not the greatest solution for a team environment. This is a much better solution for a team environment. But if it's just you or one other person, or you and a transaction coordinator, or you and a lender or whatever, Lion Desk can be a much better solution for you. And it's, to be honest with you, it's easy to use. It's really easy to use. Bless you. Okay. Okay, so Real Geeks. So Real Geeks is owned by Fidelity, who also owns Sync. So this is like Sync or Commissions Inc. that you were talking about earlier is a big platform for big teams. Mostly it's lead gen, kind of like conversion, so that's a big part of it. Real Geeks is their offering for the smaller teams and the smaller individual. It's a really, really good SEO software. So what that means is that this is a package deal. So this is the website and the CRM. So you're getting both. You're paying $250 a month, and there's some add-ons on top of that if you want all the features of the program. It's a good entry-level solution to have both the website and your CRM and have them all tied together and working well, right? The concerns with the software is they just sold out about a year ago to Fidelity, and it's kind of different. You don't really know what they're going to do. Not really sure where they're going to go with it.
They lost the passion in the software kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, the guy that owned it, Jeff, is gone, right? He retired. He's
That's
out.
the main guy.
Yeah, so it's, who knows what's going to happen, especially when they have a higher end package already on top of it. So how much development are they going to put into it? But it's pretty nice. The video is an integration, so it integrates with BombBomb. It does not. There's another one. There's a free Chrome plugin too, which I'll send out to you guys if you're interested. It's just like BombBomb, but it's free and integrates with that as well. It's got all the basic templates. The one thing I really like about Real Geeks is that it's got an amazing user resource group. So their resource group is mind-blowing. And I mean, some of the best agents in the country. So you got Greg Harrelson, Brett Baker. I mean, you got guys that sell hundreds of millions of dollars worth of real estate that are active in the group and will help you. They'll give you templates, they'll give you drip campaigns, they'll give you step-by-step how to do stuff. So that end of it is really, really, really good to support. Unfortunately, they haven't put in much money into the software in the last year and a half or 2 years, so it's not necessarily keeping up with some of the other ones. A really cool feature on it, it's going to cost you an extra $50 a month, is the Facebook tool. So has anybody in here advertised on Facebook at all? Have you? Did you do manage ads, or did you just like boost something?
I just manage ads.
Okay, so it's confusing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, between audiences and all that rest of the stuff and the changes and that stuff's pretty confusing. This tool makes it really, really simple.
I don't have anything to like a squeeze page, So
Well, so
if they
the-
text me, then I set it up automatic. It texts them back until I can get back to them.
Yeah.
But I don't have.
Well, so this comes with the squeeze. This comes with the landing funnel, the ClickFunnels squeeze page. It's all built into it. So it's all there. And I mean, these guys are marketers, so they'll probably answer the question better than me. I'm not a big landing fan page. I just don't believe in them as much. I would rather send people to houses because I sell houses. So your landing page should be Scottsdale homes under $350,000 with pools. And pull up 10 of those, and to me that's the best landing page you can have because that's what they want to buy, right? But if you have a solution like this, it's all woven in together, it's already built into it. So if you buy their Facebook tool for the $50 add-on, it's really easy to make ads, it's really just easy to see how they're performing, how they're doing. It's a really, really cool feature. Really cool feature. Great support group, it's got all the automated drips. It does have texting built into it. It's got the videos and integration. The mobile is a basic app, so the app's okay. It's not mind-blowing, it's just okay. The IDX look is basic and not really customizable, so this is going to be a little bit of a con, right? Because there's a lot of people that use the software. There's a lot of people in the Valley that use the software. And there's like 4 templates for your web page, so they're going to look the same. They're going to look like everybody else is using the software. Will clients ever notice that? I don't know. But I do. And no internal call features, so the calling capabilities aren't that great. So that's real schemes. This is a real good team platform too. Again, if it wasn't so up in there like the ownership, it would probably be like one of the higher recommended CRMs. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, Chime. So now we're getting into a little bit more expensive. So I'm going to be honest, I use Chime, I love it, I highly recommend it. This is my favorite one by far. The biggest thing that I like about these guys is that they're like 7 miles that way. So they're a newer company. They've all come from different backgrounds and different CRM backgrounds and different tech backgrounds in real estate, and they're right down the road. So I can literally, I've been to their office probably 50 times, and it's cool. That's a really cool feature to me. It is pricey, right? It's $4.99 a month. If it's something you sign up for, you can get like $100 a month off, but it's definitely pricey. The integration rate's really good. It's going to integrate just about as well as the others. It is industry specific, so it's part of the real estate industry. It does have the artificial intelligence built in, which is really nice. The mobile app is really nice, very useful. It's got the texting built in. It's got video integration built in. It's got the templates are all advanced, so it's got fantastic templates that are